Reggaeville family, thank you so much for joining another episode of Take Me Places, a series in which we highlight influential persons that have shaped, fostered, and dedicated their life to the music that we love so much. And today I am with musicians, because what would this music be without the players of instruments, right?
Exactly.
I'm very humbled and grateful, and also very thankful that you made all the way to come here. One of Jamaica's most influential bassists, great Clifton Jackie Jackson.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. How are you today?
Pleasure. I'm just too lovely for words.
Yeah, wow.
Too lovely.
All right, that's great to hear. I mentioned that I thank you for coming here.
My
and
pleasure.
Here is where. Where did you take us today, and why are we here?
I am at the great and wonderful, because it was where it all started. And it was just heaven on earth, if there's such a thing.
Yeah. Tell me a bit about that time. A bit, how would a random day in the studio be like?
Oh, well, usually the recordings were usually on a Sunday.
Okay.
Yes, Sunday. And then it got so hectic and so many artists to record that Duke Reed, who's the owner, decided to put in another day. So we went Sundays and Wednesdays. But for the first couple of months, it was Sundays only. On any given day, we'd start at 10 and we'd go on until God knows when. I remember the first day I stepped into that studio.
Tell me about that.
First.
When was that?
I was probably 20 little bit. 20, 21, 22, somewhere in there. Baby. With my afro, of course. My afro was this wide. I had to turn sideways to go through the door. Yeah. And we did once. We did one song that was my first meeting with Alton Ellis. And we did one song. And that song became a national anthem.
Right.
It's called Girl I've Got a Date. Yeah.
Right.
It was a humongous hit for Alton. And that also put me on the map as a not so bad bass player.
Not so bad.
Yeah, not so bad.
That
was my start. And
but I mean, imagine this. It was actually your first day at the studio, right?
My first time in Treasure Isle ever.
Wow.
And my first recording. First recording. But I mean,
so were you nervous or were you excited? Or
I was excited. The session was to start at 10. I was there from like about 8 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock. That's how enthusiastic I was, you know. And because how this came about, I was the bass player. When Scatterlights broke up, Scat was on its way out, and Scatterlight broke up. The band leader for Scatterlights, Tommy McCook, he formed SuperSonics, and I was the bass player for SuperSonics. And Roland Fanso, the other saxophonist in Scatterlights, he went to Studio One, Coxsone, and formed the Soul Brothers.
Right.
So the Saturday night when we finished playing with SuperSonics, Tommy came over to me and said, there's a record at Church Isle tomorrow. Can you make it? I said, of course. Jesus. And I didn't sleep that night at all.
Wow.
I got up. I was the first one in the studios.
Yeah.
And I sat there and everybody arrived. You know, the great Hux Brown, guitar, the Ratcliffe Brand, Paul Douglas Jones, and Gladys Anderson. I'm just meeting all of these people. You know? And in came Alton. And Alton Duke introduced us. And Alton said, okay, I have a song, and start to sing. Girl, I've got a day. And I said, oh, nice. When we learned the song completely and were ready to record, me with my brash self, first time in the studio,
Yeah, right.
by this time, Tamuma Cook and all these guys, they are seasoned session persons. Plus, Tamma was the musical director for Treasure Isle, for Duke Reid. He's in charge of the session.
Yeah, right.
Whatever he says goes.
Right, okay.
So when we're ready to record, I turned to Tommy and everybody and said, I would like to play the introduction for this song. And everybody froze because there's no such thing. The bass does not play the introduction for any song. The bass accompanies. And Tom McCook said, are you crazy? No! And once I stood my ground. I wasn't showing off or trying to be difficult, but that is what I felt. From my heart. I said, no, I have to play the introduction. And then Tommy said, no, this can't be. No. He just stopped short of saying to me, get the head out of here and go home. And then Hux Brown, you have probably heard of Hux Brown.
Yeah.
He's great. He turned to me and said, all right, Jackie, let me play the intro with you. And Tommy said, no! And by this time we got more than an hour now arguing,
Wow, okay.
And Duke Reid came up and said, what happened? I don't hear anything. Why? So Tommy turned to him and said, Bass, he called me Bassy, not to hit him with Sir Jackie. Bassy holding up the session. So Duke turned to him and said, why? What happened? So I said to him, sir, I would like to play the introduction for this song. And I saw when he paused. He never said, no, like Tommy, pause. So from us saying pause, I said, So guess what saved the day now? Nobody did know this, not even me, not even Tommy. Bass is Duke's first love. Out of all of the instruments, that is the instrument that he loves.
Okay.
And he probably, in another life, he probably wish he could have been a bass player. So, Mark, Tommy is his musical director, saying, don't want to, in Jamaican term, diss, you know what this means?
Yeah, right.
You don't want to diss Tommy and go against him. But at the same time, bass is his first love. Right. So to be fair to both of us, you know what he says? He said, okay, all right, let me hear it.
Okay.
And Hux and myself, we went, doom, 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 doom. And when we glance over on Duke, is him start dance. All right, you see in the recording world at Treasure Isle, when Duke starts to dance, he has a strange way of dancing. It means he likes it.
Okay.
He has a liquor store downstairs
Right.
and the recording stays upstairs.
Right.
And he's an old policeman, used to be in the constabulary force. He has a 38 strapped to his waist and he has his double-barrel shotgun over his shoulder. Because, of course, he's at Bond Street and Charles Street, right in the middle of anything can happen. Plus, he runs a liquor store.
Right.
It can be robbed at any minute.
Right.
So by walking with that 38 strapped around his waist and the double-barrel over his shoulder, he's a very intimidating figure. So anybody who would want to come and try something, they're going to stop and think first and say, no, not taking a chance.
Yeah, don't worry with this man.
Yes, hence, when he dances, he likes what he's hearing. If the song is going to be a hit, he takes out his 38 and goes blow in the ceiling.
actually shooting.
Yes,
in
he's
the
the first.
ceiling of-
You have heard
this
of gun
place.
salute in Jamaica.
Yeah,
When
right.
they sang it,
Yeah.
he's the first, if you can call it the gun saluter, for want of a better
And
word.
the actual guns.
Yes. And when the song is a mega hit, an anthem, he cranks his double barrel and goes blood down in the ceiling. That studio don't have no roof, you know. Munch.
Oh,
It has no roof. You can stay there and look up and see the sun. But every time we go back, it's always repaired because the rain will come through and wet us up.
unbelievable.
Yeah. So when we played the introduction,
Yeah.
he started to dance. And grudgingly, Tommy said, okay. Because when you start to dance, you know, you can't tell him nothing. And then we, record, one cut.
And that was it.
And the rest is history.
Right.
History for Alton Ellis and Treasure Isle.
Yeah.
And that was where Jackie Jackson came out of the dual drums.
Right.
And that song paved the way for me going forward. Because it's the Jamaican producers, you know, they are not superstitious, no, that's too heavy a word. But if one producer hears something or hears a song, they're going in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter if it's good, bad, or ugly, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, from that song came out, dum, Jesus, everybody wants to. Who played that song?
Mm-hmm.
Who's that? And then I took off. And not only that, when Duke used to have a sound system, Duke really Trojan. You know what a sound system is?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And there's a dance hall in same place in that era called Chocomolan.
Mm-hmm.
Where every Sunday night, Duke's sound system plays there.
Okay.
When we finished recording
Mm-hmm.
and Alton voiced and everything, in the day you know what is dub plate.
Yeah, right.
Good. When we finished the session, Duke cut a dub plate immediately. And he used to have a Buick Skylark.
Mm-hmm.
That car is like 100 years old. But at that time, it was like what a Benz is today.
Mm-hmm.
Fishtail. And all of us, it was how many of us? 9 persons packed up into that car with Duke driving. And we drove from Chugrai Recording Studio, right at Bond Street and Charles Street, up to Chocomolan, which was like 5 minutes away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and his son was playing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a place to be every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
It packed to the rafters. And we all went in with Duke. And the DJ, his name is Cuttings. Duke walked in with a dub plate. And us and Alton, and gave it to Cuttings. He never even know what it is. But Duke bring it come.
Of
So
course,
play
you
it.
had to play it, right?
Munch. And this is the gospel. When Cuttings put on the song, it played 13 times before he could take it off.
Wow.
After the first time,
Yeah.
the crowd said, "Why?" The second time, "Yay!" 13 times before everybody got enough of it. By this time, not even radio station, nowhere.
Nowhere. It was just right,
Right
from
in
the studio
into
right
the
to
dance
the
hall.
party.
Yeah. And the next day it was on the radio. And it was Alton's biggest hit.
Mm-hmm.
Not one off. His biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then ta-da!
But you mentioned that in the beginning, when you said that you want to do the introduction, then Tommy was hesitant, right? But Tommy must have loved how you play. Otherwise, he would not have asked you to be in the band in the first place, right? Can you tell me about that moment when he came to your gate and he asked you, do you want to be in the band with me?
All right. Scatterlights broke up. Tom McCook went. Tom McCook, Johnny Moore, trumpeter, Lloyd Nibbs. All of these are Scatterlights people.
Right.
3 persons went with Roland Alfonso. Lloyd Brevet, bass player, and Jackie Mento, keyboardist.
Yeah.
Everybody else went with Tommy. So in this stage, they were both looking for members to regroup. So I am there. That time I don't know none. But Mark, I knew of Scatterlights because everywhere, and I'm not joking, everywhere Scatterlights went, I was there. As a little boy, 17, 18, yes.
Yeah.
And I used to just go and stand right in front of Brevet, the bass player.
And watch him play.
Our nose was almost touching. And I'm sure one of the nights he probably said, who the hell is this? Everywhere I go see this little fella. Yeah. So, Scatterlights broke up. I was at home one evening with my dear mom, sitting down, taking it easy. And a car drove to the gate. And my mother went out and she came back and said, Tom Cook is at the gate. So I said, which Tom Cook? I only know one Tom Cook. She said, Tom Cook is at the gate. So I looked out and there was Tom Cook from the Scatterlights. So I went. I don't know what on earth. I don't know if he lost his way and wanted for me to tell him where to go. Yeah. So I went out, said, good evening, sir. And said, hi, I'm Tom Cook. I said, yes, I know you.
I know you.
Yes.
You go to all of your shows.
Yes.
Right.
I am farming on. I was the band leader for the Scatterlights. I said, you'd have to tell me that. I know all of this. So I'm forming a new band by the name of the SuperSonics. I would like you to be the bass player. Or would you like to be the bass player? I said, what are you saying? And he said, okay, we're having a rehearsal tomorrow at Club Havana. That was one of the biggest nightclubs in the East Kingston. It was like Studio 54 in America. So I said, I'll be there. So he said, rehearsal is 2 o'clock. Munchy, I was there for 11 o'clock.
Right,
Jeez.
of course.
With my bass. Went there, sat right at the door, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, everybody came.
Yeah.
By this time, I knew every, when I say every, I mean every Scatterlights song. Every. Because Scatterlights used to play Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I was at every one of them.
Wow.
Yeah. Just go there as a little youth and just stand up all night and listen. So, the rehearsal started, and every one of the songs that he called,
You knew the bass line.
I just needed a key. And when the rehearsal, we finished at about 6, 7 o'clock. And the greatest compliment I've ever had in my life was when Tommy came over and said to me, if I wasn't looking, I would swear that Lloyd is playing. That's Lloyd Brevet. Because I was playing note for note. And there's even a song that Brevet played, Pure Foolishness, in the introduction. But it's a great big hit. And I played the Foolishness also. It was so hilarious that when Tommy called the song, and we started the introduction, and I was playing the Foolishness, because the entire band know it's pure mistake in the intro. Because in them days, it was just 1 cut, we don't do 2 cut and 3 cut in a recording. So anything you play,
That's
it
it on the
stays.
recording, right?
And then also, not only that, 9 times out of 10, when you do a recording, you see when you run it down the first time, the second time or the third time, it's hard to duplicate what you just played.
Yeah,
So
right.
plenty times, the recording engineer will record when you're practicing the song, learning it. And then when we say ready, with the 2 cuts or 3 cuts, and we go inside and listen, the one that we were practicing
Was the best one.
Was the best one with all the mistakes. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the producer just said, no, sir, this
Leave
is the
it
one.
as
Yeah,
that.
leave it
Yeah,
as it
leave
is.
it, yeah.
Because there's a few lovely songs that I am playing to your wishes. You know? Not the entire song, but mistakes.
Okay.
But the feel.
Yeah.
The feel.
Because it comes right
it comes
inside.
right out.
It's not what you practice or what you noted
it's
down.
spontaneous. You know?
Right.
So sometimes when you hear a song and you hear it chock full of mistakes, it's not that it's mistake. That was what we were rehearsing. And the engineer just decided to take it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we'll do a song and we'll take it, 2 cuts, and then we'll go in and listen. And we'll say, all right, let's do one more. And the engineer will say, listen to this one. And when we listen to the one we were rehearsing, everybody said, rotted. No, man. That is, it's not all the time that there's mistake in the first one.
Yeah.
But every now and again, one of them slipped through the crack. Because this is trade secret now, you know. Girl, I've got a date.
Yeah.
There's a mistake in it. 2 nice big mistakes.
2 nice big mistakes.
Yeah, by the bass player. But guess what? We did only 1 cut.
Right.
And we all said, let's do another one. And Duke said, no more.
No,
Leave. We don't want nothing more. We don't. And when we played it 100 times. That's the one song we did that day, you know. And we listen much. We listen. Even Tama could say, no, man, leave it. We're not doing no more. And I said, no, there's mistake in it. Let me do 1 more. And they said, no. And then in the end, we did 1 more cut. And then we played the cut without the mistake. It
wasn't the same.
No. So now everybody knows that I made a mistake and we got a bit.
Right. Now they will all listen.
Everybody's going to run to listen now.
Of course.
And guess what? They might not even hear it.
Right. But you, of course,
yeah,
when you play
I know
it,
it
you
is.
hear it. Of course you hear it.
2 times.
Mm.
You know, so ta-da! Trade
And
secret.
it still has been a hit.
It is.
See?
It was a monster.
Monster hit, yeah.
Monster hit. It put Alton Ellis on the map. Yeah, Maggie, he was with Coxsone first, and he had some good songs, but the Girl I've Got a Date, whoa. And then after that, the next Sunday, he came back. By this time now, Ska died, and the music, the rhythm was getting a little slower. Girl I've Got a Date is a slow version of Ska, but it was up-tempo also. And then now, right after Ska, there was a little period when there was songs, but there was no name for what that period was, you know. And then right after that came Rocksteady.
Right.
And then Alton did You Better Get Ready, Come Do Rocksteady, and take off again. So, and then Rocksteady was born.
Let us go back a little further still, because you did not just play there at Treasure Isle in that era in downtown Kingston. You also were born there and you grew up there, right?
Yeah.
That was not really far from Duke's place, right?
No, it was walking distance.
So tell me a bit about that time, because that was also the time when Jamaica was not independent as yet. This was a time when reggae didn't even exist as yet.
No, there was no such thing.
So how was the vibe in society, but also in music? Like, how was society reflected in music, maybe in how people express themselves through dancing and playing?
Well, most in that early days of the Jamaican music, we all used to listen to American music. There was James Brown, Elvis Presley, of course, Roscoe Garden, and Motown, and different things. That was the influence. And in them days, the ladies used to wear big white skirt and crinoline, and the guys used to have short shirt and roll it up. And when you're dancing, you just spin the lady and check. And the music used to be bebop, you know, the dung, the ding, the dung, the dung, you know, and everybody was. And then that is what I grew up on. And it was there all along. And then by this time, Tamama Cook and Roland are fans of. Roland I think is Panamanian. Yeah, but Tamama Cook was in the Bahamas all his life. And Roland was in Panama. And then they must have been they were influenced by the American music. Everybody was.
Yeah.
Because it was the music of the day and the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tamama Cook came from the Bahamas to Jamaica. Roland came to Jamaica. And they formed Scatterlights.
Right.
And then that was my next stepping stone to listen. By this time now, I started listening to ska. Ska took over from the bebop and the James Brown and the Elvis Presley. So ska was the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it lasted a great long while too. There was some great artists, Jackie Opel, Jimmy Cliff, the Blues Busters, and even probably Millie Small, probably, and I'm having a senior moment here. When you can't remember anything, that's it. You call it a senior moment. And
what do you say? What do you think that it was important for Jamaicans to have their own music also in a period of time where also they got independent, where to have something of their own apart from the American music and apart from external music coming onto the island, having somewhat of a consciousness about themselves. This is our own music, what we have created on this island, somewhat of that spirit maybe.
Well, up to that point, you know, there was, before all of this, before
was Mento still right, of
before
course.
the ska
Mm-hmm.
and the R&B, and there was Mento.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, it was always there now.
Mm-hmm.
Up to this day now.
Yeah.
Mento. But for some reason, it was low. It was under the house bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Mento would not, nobody was paying in the mind to Mento.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. And it was always there. It was there. It was probably the first thing out of Jamaica.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, and nobody was paying attention to it. Nobody was paying it in the mind. As a matter of fact, Mento came to the fore just after independence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then everybody started to say, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
What is, and then everybody said, what weird? Yikes. And then you had some Lord Flea, Lord Fly, and some more mental guys. They started to record.
Uh-huh.
And the songs became hits. And then everybody started saying, oh, this is lovely. This is even before Style.
Yeah,
Long
right.
before.
Exactly.
And then everybody else realized, well, this is our own.
Yeah.
This is ours. And then it kind of come to the fore. But guess what? The guys who were doing Mento at that time, by this time they were in their 50s, 60s,
Mm-hmm.
big men. So by the time, and then nobody else was interested in that kind of music
Mm-hmm.
to elevate it and carry it to the further.
Right, okay.
So by the time ska came along,
Mm-hmm.
Mento kind of died.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the middle of the ska now, we had a little, some bands start to crop up in the districts in Jamaica, way up in the mountains, the hills of Jamaica. You had the Johnny Boys from Portland, and then you had another little Mento. And when independence, that is when every little village you go, and then there was this guy named Sugar Belly. He had a bamboo saxophone. He had one of the biggest Mento bands also.
Oh, okay.
And then everybody said, but wait, this thing is ours.
Right.
This is ours. And it kind of took off for like a while. But it didn't get any recognition as like ska or reggae or rocksteady. You know, but we as musicians,
Yeah.
we didn't really grow up on it, but we were aware of it.
Yeah. Right.
You know, so you could probably safely say that's where all of this came from. You know, but it's just a pity that it wasn't, you know, renowned or out of this world
Yeah.
like the other
Yeah.
genres of music. But it meant to kind of pave the way
Yeah.
for us.
And interesting, you mentioned ska, the end period where you already started to record and play the bass and be involved in the industry, then Rocksteady, and then came reggae. You practically witnessed and were part of this evolution, so to speak, or this development. Was that more a natural process, or were people saying, oh, yo, this is new, the hype thing, let's do this as well, or how did this come about, this whole progression or this development?
Well, for want of a better word, Munch, ska came about because of the rhythm that was being played. The upbeat, you know, chang, chang, chang. And, you know, Jamaicans, they have a strange way of, their terminology is just strange. I'm not sure, but I'm certain that somewhere along the line, somebody must have said, why? Somebody started going, ska, ska, ska. And everybody said, right, ska.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Right.
it just,
And that
because
was it.
just like Rocksteady, the first time I heard that word was right in Treasure Studios. Right. When Alton recorded You Better Get Ready, right?
Right.
That time the word Rocksteady wasn't coined yet.
Yeah, the name for the genre.
Yeah. We laid the rhythm, and then the DJ cut-ins, we were listening back to it. And the DJ came in and said, boy, the rhythm's steady, man. It's steady. Boy, it's steady like a rock.
Oh, okay.
And then somebody else, I can't remember who, so somebody in there said, yeah, man, it's rock steady. Meaning, he wasn't giving the name Rocksteady to the music, you know. He was referring to it that it is steady,
Very,
just like
very
how a
steady.
rock
Yeah.
is steady.
Yeah.
And then you say, yeah, man, it rock steady. It's steady. And then you have our hangers on in the studio, you know, just come to listen. And everybody just pick it up and say, yeah, man, it's steady like a rock. It rocks steady.
Yeah.
And that is the first time I'm hearing those.
That word.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, next thing you know, that genre of music became rock steady.
Right.
And strange enough, you know, if you go to another studio or you go to another project, every producer is claimed that it's them responsible for rock steady. You know? But for me, is right inside Chajai. I heard that word first. You know?
Right.
And then, but strange enough, and it was so sad, you know, that to me, I could be wrong, I could get into trouble for it. For me, that was the best era of Jamaican music, Rocksteady. And not because I was involved, but, don't you see, Rocksteady, any retro part you go, in the world or in Jamaica, Rocksteady must be played.
Yeah.
Must! No question. The dome must play ska, the dome must play reggae. But Rocksteady must be played. And in during that era, you had so many, the greatest songs, lyrics, and the rhythm came out of Rocksteady, you know. Because in them days, you had Treasure Island alone is responsible for 75% of Rocksteady. There was the melodians, there was the techniques, there was Phyllis Dillon, Altanelis, the Silver Tones, Jaya Landis, the Paragons, and it goes on. You know, Rocksteady. And then, of course, there was Coxsone, you know, Leroy Sibbles and Head Tones and other people. And Bibi Seaton and the Gaylands, Ken Booth. In them days, Munchy, people were writing. People were Freddie McGregor and everybody, songs were being written. It's not like, no, I'm not fighting down or crying on anybody else. But what has been done now, there's just a few people who are really actually putting lyrics. Chronix is a good writer, Freddie McGregor, you know, and other people. Barris, you know. But most of the other people, it's do-overs, covers. What they do, they record over the Rocksteady rhythm and put new words to it. Because plenty of the songs that you hear now, when you listen, it's a Rocksteady rhythm and progression that they have done over and put new words to it. But in Rocksteady days, jeez, the lyrics was just out of this world. And for us musicians, that was what drove us to greatness, you know. Because when our artists step into the studio and the song, the lyrics are wicked, that is fuel for us, you know. The line and the progression and everything just come to us right away. And you know, greatness. And that was the shortest period of the Jamaican.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Jesus. Dancehall is still here, it's going on forever.
Yeah.
Reggae went on for a good while. Ska was here forever. And Rocksteady, boy, it probably 2 years, 3 years. But it, to me, like I said, I could get into trouble for saying this, or I could be told I'm a lunatic, or they could say that because I was involved. But for me, Rocksteady, for it was the nicest era of Jamaican music. And then for me, ska. Rocksteady and ska.
Okay.
Yes, man.
Okay.
Jeez, you know. But it just a pity that in them days, if somebody had come to us, we as the musicians and the artists themselves also, and say Jamaican music, whether ska, rocksteady, reggae, or whatever it is, would become a formidable force in music today. Would I say, what are you talking about? No. Because in them days, we were just recording. Most of the singers gave away their rights too. You know, they just go to the producer and sing a song, and the producer gave them a little something, and they were satisfied with it. And that was it. No contract, no nothing, no agreement, nothing. You know? And look at reggae, look at Jamaican music today. Jeez, you know? It's... Words can't express how great it is in this day and age.
Yeah.
You know?
And you are still, up until today, also active as a musician. And you have also played with Toots as part of the Metos for more than 4 decades.
Yeah, we were on, well, Toots just passed last year. We were on the road for 48 years. We recorded for 6, so in total it's 52 years.
How did you meet Toots? And how were the Metals formed? Because the amazing thing is that it's not only you were involved for such a long period of time, but so were Paul and Dougie also. And so, I mean, this must have been a very strong unity.
Well,
if you, over such a long period of time.
How this came about, Munchy. Paul, Dougie, Hux Brown, Winston Wright, we were the rhythm section from Rocksteady all the way down to now. We just kept changing drummers. Before Paul, there was Hugh Malcolm, there was Winston Grennan, and then Paul Douglas came, and from that time until now. So we were the studio musician at Treasure.
Right.
The only place that we have never played for is Coxsone. Marky, we went in. This is funny. Harry Moody, a producer, called us up for a session one day, and we went. He was doing a session at Coxsone's. So we said, "Oh, great!" Everybody was enthusiastic because we have heard about Coxsone's.
Yeah.
But we have never been in there.
All right, yeah.
So we went in, and we recorded for, oh God, I'm having a scene a moment again. Drifter.
Right.
The name of the song is Drifter. Yeah. We went inside, we did 2 songs. Drifter was one of them. It was a mega hit for the artist. Can't remember his name. When we recorded Drifter, and we did it live, and we were all listening back. Coxsone, Mr. Dodd, Clement Dodd, ran out of his office and come into the recording, the recording booth, and said to his engineer is Sidney Buckler, and said, "Sidney, which tune this? When we do this? Man, what a ratty tune. When we're going to release this?" And Sidney said to him, "You're not your song.
Yeah.
We just recorded it." And so what? No, this isn't. Because guess what? For some reason or other, Munch, it was us musicians doing the session, but the sound and the feel of the song was down Coxsone's. That was because of the studio and the engineer. The place we were in. So much so that Coxsone thought it was his musicians playing, and it was one of his songs. And then him turn and him stop and him look on all of us. And this is the first we are seeing him, you know. We know of him. And he know the names, know of us by name. Because all of the Treasure song was hit, you know, and producers love to ask, who played this?
Yeah.
Who played that? So he knows the name. And when him say, who played this? And we say, me. And he will say, oh, you're Jackie Jackson? And we say, yes. And he say, all right, we have to do some work sometime or the other, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we say, yes, man. But that was just to say yes. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. And it never happened. Because, let me go back a bit. At one stage, in the height, in the midst of the Treasure recording, when Treasure was turning out hits, Pantapa hits, Paragon Technique, Alternatives, and the Jamaicans won the festival song one year. So in the middle of this, Duke came to me because bass is his first love, you know.
Right.
And he said, what he wanted me to do was to be the bass player for Treasure exclusively. But I couldn't do that. Because we were the rhythm section of the moment.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we were doing all of the recordings. So that caused a rift between Duke and myself.
Yeah.
Because I said to him, I said, really, no, with all due respect, thank you for the break from Treasure, but I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't. And all of us stopped with the Treasure. And for about 3-4 months, we didn't go to Treasure. And by this time, we were doing recording everywhere else. And we did a song named Ride with Donkey. And that bass, I know when the Duke heard that bass, he must have lost his mind. And when you get a chance to listen to it. I was at home one evening, this is like about 4 months after, you know, no Treasure. Duke drove up to my gate.
Okay.
And I said to myself, boy, I'm not going out there at all. And he came in. Mark, I wasn't in frightened or anything, you know. He came in and said, Jackie, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, session. So that is what broke the ice, you know. So when he said that to me, you know, I was overjoyed. I said, yes, sir, of course. And we went back to Treasure, all of us. And you know what song we recorded? Baba Boom. You know Baba Boom?
Yeah, man.
That was a monster festival song, you know. Monster. That festival song is the wickedest festival song ever in terms of rhythm and production. Cherry Baby was the most popular by Eric Dancer, the most popular. Everybody was saying Cherry oh baby. But in terms of music and the rhythm, because Baba Boom was at the heart of Rocksteady, you know. When you get a chance to listen to that also.
Yeah, man, of course.
And when we went the day and recorded Baba Boom, Duke didn't have any more shots left in the shotgun. The roof was, and Baba Boom won.
Yeah.
Won the festival song. But hear the joke now. Desmond Decker came second with, I think it was, you're having a party, I give you a party, bam, 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 I think. That came second. That was us recording it.
As well.
Yes. But this was before we recorded Baba Boom. And then the song that came third, that song was Jamaica is on the move. Move up. That was Mrs. Passenger entry. So we record first, second, and third
song
in the festival, and nobody would know. It's us because it's 3 different interpretations.
Yeah, right.
You could never say, boy, that sound like that one, or that sound like that one. No. You know, so, and thank the Lord, after that Baba Boom, we went back to Duke one. And then the Paragons, then the Melodians, And it just kept going. And Joe never ever brought up me playing exclusively again. And the reason why we never ever went to Coxsone is because now that Duke and I made up, I said, no, I'm not going to go do anything to make us fall out again. By going into Coxsone's and record, because he's going to hear about it. You know, so I say, you know what? Anybody who's having a session again and then says Coxsone, I'm not going. So, ta-da.
So it shows your loyalty.
Yes, because that's where I started. You have to be respectful, show some loyalty. It's not money don't do everything, you know. You know, integrity.
Right.
You have to show some integrity. You know? So, treasure eyes for life.
But also you mentioned your fellow band members, those that you've been on the road as well, traveling, touring, playing live with Toots as the Metals, and those, some of them, you're still working up until today. Please tell me,
No, go ahead, finish.
Tell me a bit about what you're doing with them today.
It was, like I said, we were the rhythm section of the day, recording. Dougie Bryan, Paul Douglas, Hux Brown, and myself, and Winston Wright. By this time now, we were recording for everybody. Scratch, and everybody had a different name for us. When we record anything from Leslie Kong was Beverly All Star. Miss Pottinger was what Miss Pottinger? Tip Top All Stars. Scratch was the Upsetters, and Clancy Eccles was the Dynamites, but it was us, you know. So, anyways, by this time now, Toots had done 54-46. We didn't meet him yet, but we know of the song. And we know of Toots through the ska era, you know, Toots and the Mento. Originally, Toots and the Mento are three guys, you know, Toots and Raleigh and Jerry. So they are the Metals, Toots and the Metals. So after 54-46, he began recording for Beverly's. By this time, we were doing all of Beverly's. So because it was us who recorded Desmond Decker, Israelites. Yes. So one day, the guy who was managing Warwick Lynn, he was managing Toots. And he was also Leslie Kong's musical director. But him don't know one thing about music. He was more A&R than anything else. His job was to go out and find talent and come and record. So he came to us one day and said, they're going to have a session with Toots and the Mento. I said, wow, nice man, yes, wow, yeah, wicked. So it was us, we guys, same one. We went to the session, Toots walking, as usual, he's always late. Always. He's always late. An hour late, hour and a half. But guess what now? You'll be there, the session will be 12 o'clock, Moses. He will walk in at 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock. And when you're upset and you start cuss, because we're here sitting down around 1 o'clock, and we start, and when he walks in, he will walk in, he loves to cook, you know. He thinks he's the greatest chef in the world. And when he walks into the session, he will walk in with one big pot of rice and peas, chicken, or curry goat, and say, come on, let's go eat first.
Alright, not too bad. I think something, you know.
By that time, everybody forget that he was late.
Alright.
You know? You know, but he's an habitual late person. But every time him come there, when he's that, him come with 1 million patty and drinks. And everybody eat and then forget.
Right,
yeah. So that first day, in came Toots. And this first one song, let's do the reggae. And we recorded it and ta-da. We left. And then the next session, and the next section, the next one was It Is True. Oh yeah, what's the name? Can you remember that? I can't remember that song. The name of it.
Pressure drop.
Pressure Drop.
Yeah.
And then there was Funky Kingston. Then there's, and it goes on.
Right.
And then after that, we did 2 festival songs. We did Pumps and Pride, and it won. And then we did Sweet and Dandy, and it won.
Right.
By this time now, Chris Blackwell,
Right.
Island Records. By this time now, Bob Marley was signed to Island. And Chris, there was something about Toots' music and Toots that drew Chris' attention to him. And he was approached. We were approached. He was approached first to sign to Island. And he was signed. Good. Then one day we got a message now that Chris Blackwell wanted to see us. I said, for what? So we went and we didn't go there with an expectancy, you know. Because in them days, you know, Munchy, it's just an artist everybody's interested in. Nobody don't business musician, you know. And without us, them can't reach anywhere, you know.
Right.
Yes, because what many people don't realize is the music the people them dancing to, you know.
Yeah.
And jumping and prancing.
Yeah.
And not jumping and prancing to the lyrics or the word. It's the music.
Yeah.
And if the music not good or not right, the song don't work PHRTZ. And who is doing the music? Us.
Yeah, right. The players of instruments.
Yes. And
right.
in them days, we are creating the introduction. All the singers does is come in and sing, you know. They don't know what key them in. They don't know the progression. But they're going from 1 to 2, 1 to 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, whatever. They just come there and sing. And it is us, the musician, who says, all right, this is 1625, or this is 1415. By that time, them don't know what we're talking about, you know. And when we get the progression now, and we learn the song, one of us or any of us will say, what we're going to do for introduction? And the singer will stand up there and just looking blank. And then one of us will say, all right, let us play it. And everybody will say, no, I'm not like that. I might say, yeah, that sounds good. And then when the thing come out, it's a monster hit, and all you hear about is the artist.
Yeah, right.
So Chris came to us and said, all right, he has signed Toots and the Meters. And then he say he has a proposal for us. We, the musician. And say, well, it's time for it. Toots is now bigger than Jamaica and bigger than what he's doing. By this time, Bob is on the rise in the world. So Chris said, you guys have been recording with him for the past 5-6 years. You record all of the songs. It's time for him to hit the road. So we're going to make you guys be the Meters band. So that is how Toots and the Meters. We were, the Raleigh and Jerry became part of us. So it was Toots and the Meters. And we were the Meters band.
Right.
Yeah. Chris Blackwell gave us that name. And Toots agreed and said, yes, man. And he said, whoa, boy, I'm happy. We have my own band now. We have my own band. Yeah. And draft up a little contract. By this time, you know, reggae's a little more than on the rise. It's over the horizon now. So everybody start to think rationally, contract, agreement, how much, and thing. So Chris brought us his contract, gave it to us and said, let us meet in another day or two. Everybody go home and read and satisfy and be sure what you're reading about. Munch, we were so excited. We ran out of the place, you know. To this day, we don't know what is on that contract.
You just signed out of your excitement.
Because we didn't have anything to lose. As long as we were not signing away our houses, our cars, and our wives, and our children.
Right.
And 2 days' time, we were back there. And ta-da! And in 3 months after that, we hit the road, Toots and the Metals. And that was 1968. Yeah. 86. Why?
No.
Can't be 60.
Must be
68. It must have been 68, yeah.
Yeah, man.
68. And we hit the road. And we were from then until our last show was January 2019 in Miami. That was the last show.
How did you hear about his passing?
Well, we were practically right there, almost. We were doing, all right, when we came back after the corona hit now, and everything was at a standstill.
Right, exactly.
And then we were to do the Tonight Show. But we couldn't do it live, so we were recording it. Recording our section. And we were at the studio rehearsing, and we were there waiting, only to hear that he's gone to the doctor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he caught it, corona. And then, lucky for us, lucky for me, the engineer got it also, and somebody else. But I escaped. Maybe I was too tall, so I escaped it, yeah. And then we said, okay. He was probably doing treatment, or it got worse or something. Next thing we hear, geez, he's in hospital. We still didn't pay it in mind, you know, because he's began strong. He has never been sick.
Yeah, wow.
From where I've been on the road for 48 years, he has never been sick. So we just said, another brick in the wall, you know. And we kept in touch, everybody, through his manager. We got a daily report. And he was still in the hospital. He's in the hospital. And then we heard that he's on the oxygen tank or something. I said, whoa.
Wow.
We start to pay attention now. Yeah. Because that oxygen thing is not a joke.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were still optimistic. You know. And then one night at about 11 o'clock, to be exact, the drummer Paul called me from Miami. But this was the farthest thing from my mind, you know, because we chat every day. So when he called me at 11 o'clock, I didn't even say to myself, oh, when Paul called me this time of the night, something must be wrong. You know? No, not like that. So I said, well, Paul, what? But when he said to me, Jackson, you're sitting down, I said to myself, is something wrong now?
Yeah.
And Paul said to me, Right. Toots just pass. It was just the world stopped turning,
Yeah.
you know, for a moment. So we just went from there, you know, we just said, okay, well, but you say, Munch, the reality of every and anything, you say, no matter how tragic it may seem or it may look, when the Lord says, come, you can't tell him you're not ready.
No.
Or you can't tell him,
Yeah.
wait little man, or come back tomorrow, no? Or little more.
Yeah.
It's time.
It's time then.
It's
And
time.
it was time.
And
Yeah.
everybody on earth have a time.
Exactly.
It's time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see something happen and the person escape, get out of it. You hear people say, well, I'm lucky. No, it's not no luck. It not
wasn't
time
the time
yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And when a person lives to be 100 and more and still going on, it's still not time yet. Look at the newborn. You know what I mean? A child just born, and by the time take his first breath, time. So, you know, it's sad, and, you know, for the next couple of days, everybody was in a tailspin, you know, and we kept in touch with the family and talk, and we console each other and said, boy, all right. And then the funeral came along, and then after the funeral, it's like everybody got closure. Yeah. You know, we just said, okay, reality sunk in. And then we just, all right, let's not roll over and play dead. Time to move on.
And you are still making music now with the band members, but with a different name, right?
All right. What?
So please tell me, because you have material ready to be released, right?
All right. So what happened after that? We decided to go in a different direction. And there was a little rift between the estate and his daughter and the name Hibbert and the family. And we wanted to go in this direction, and they wanted to go in that direction. And for the love of anything, we just couldn't seem to want to go the same direction. So, for us to go in the direction that we, the band, the Metals band, the direction that we wanted to go into, we had to have a name change. Because we could not have gone in that direction as Metals band.
Yeah.
Because there would be a kind of the estate and the family sees it as an infringement. So the drummer, Paul, he's from a little town in Jamaica named Oracabessa.
Oh, okay. I see it now.
Yeah. So we never sang. We like about 3-4 years now where there's a song that we record. We have, and it's called Obessa. So we keep meeting and we Zoom and we talk. So we say, all right, what are we going to call ourselves? And everybody's Oracabessa. We wanted to name it Rockabessa, which would be nice. Rock on the rock.
Right,
Jamaica
exactly. Would have
on
been
the
a nice
rock.
wordplay. Yeah, man.
But when we Google and think to see if anybody, there's a festival in Rockabessa.
Already by that name.
Yeah, Rockabessa Festival. And we said, geez, we don't want to get into no more argument with anybody again.
Our next set of trouble.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
So we say, you know what? Let's take off everything. Take out the rock and use the first letter
Right.
And the last 5,
Okay.
Obessa.
Obessa.
Yeah. And it
Alright.
sounds
Yeah, it
quaint.
sounds
And
interesting. Yeah.
it, you can remember it. It's not hard to remember. And it's not hard on the tongue, Obessa.
Obessa.
It just,
It's thick.
yes, it
Yeah.
sticks in the head,
Right.
So we are now Obessa.
Mm-hmm.
We have registered it, and thank the Lord there's no other person.
No festival, no nothing.
There's no festival named
No
Obessa.
other band.
There's no other band named Obessa. There's no artist named Obessa.
Right.
There's no family named Obessa
Right.
to come and say you can't use it.
Mm-hmm.
So, ta-da! And we did our legal thing and get our lawyer. So, and then we record. During all of this time, we were recording songs, ourselves.
Yeah.
We have probably about 26 or 30 songs.
Wow.
So right now, we are not trying, we're stumped in trying to find 14 out of it. We're down to 16 now.
Okay, all right. That's pretty good. All right.
So we just need to take out two more and say, this is a 14. But Munchy, it's not easy.
No, I can imagine.
It is not easy. But we're down to 16. And I'm going to, for your listeners, we might even send you a couple of the tracks.
All right,
So
then. Wow.
Yeah, so you can get some feedback.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, and say what they like or they don't like. And I think some of the songs, we have a website. Charlie can tell you more about that. He's a website. Yeah, I'm just a bass player. Yeah. I don't know nothing about them things, But the album is completed. We're hoping to kick off this year. Hit the road.
All right. Wow.
Yeah. And it's just to decide which 3 songs we're going to release first as single. And then after that, the album. And get a name for the album. And then start touring. And then we just take the world by storm. Because everybody is cute. The world is curious now.
Yeah, of course.
To hear. They know that we can play.
Yeah.
And they know the music is good. But we have always been behind.
Right.
Toots.
And this is
The
now
musicianship is evident on the bandstand,
Yeah.
Because when we strike up Munch, all hell broke loose, The people, when you go to a Toots and the Meters concert, is the music why they're going on like that, When we strike up.
Yeah.
It's not the singing. I mean, Toots is there, he is effervescent and, thing personality and thing. But it's not the singing why they're jumping and prancing. It's the 5 people standing up there. Because the edge that we have over most of the other bands, we are recording musicians. We are recording musicians. So we bring the recordings to straight onto the bandstand, to the stage.
Right.
So what you're hearing up there is a record you're hearing. Yeah. So I know the world is curious to hear what we're coming with.
Yes.
Exactly. So thank the Lord. So as it is now, we have regrouped. We're still there. Paul is still there. Dougie, myself, the Carl Harvard for lead guitarist. Charlie, good old Charlie keyboard. We're still there. So what we have done now, I'm talking out our secret now, who cares? we have found a front person. Energy, everlasting.
Wow.
Yeah, can't tell him. Don't know what it is to be tired. He's not the market. We don't want anybody to emulate Toots.
Right.
Because there's no such thing.
No.
There's only one Toots.
Right, exactly.
We just want a performer. Somebody who can perform. And we have found him. He's a performer. Yeah. and it can't tire. Energy. Energy plus personality, that's dangerous, you know.
Right.
You have an audience and you put somebody there with energy and personality, it's over.
Yeah. Right.
So we have found that person. And then
Glad to hear that.
Yeah. So what we have done to boost the 5 hours and fatten the thing, we have added another keyboard player.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. And we have added a saxophonist.
Beautiful.
The saxophonist sings also, and the keyboard player blows trumpet and he sings.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So there's going to be the audience not going to believe what they're hearing when all of us strike up.
Oh, wow.
And I know they're waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's waiting. You see the first show that we're going to do, that is going to be sold out on the first day because of our curiosity.
Yes, of course.
Yes. And they say once the people can come out of that venue, the word can spread, you know.
Yes,
so you have to go see Oracabessa.
Right.
So we're the advertising blitz that we're going to go on is Oracabessa, formerly the Matas band.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody knows.
So, and everybody know who the Matas band.
Of course.
Are.
Yeah, man.
So once them see
They
that, they're
know
going to say,
it.
ooh,
Yeah, excitement,
Excitement,
quality, all of those things.
because they're going to be hearing the same thing that used to drive them into a frenzy.
Yeah, right.
It's still there, and even more. So, hell is going to break loose. All hell.
I really can't wait to hear myself, Jackie.
Yes. It's
I
going to be
really do
lovely.
thank you for taking us on this amazing history trip, on this journey through our Jamaican music history, and also for this outlook and this positive thing that we can now look forward to hearing from Oracabessa. I wish you all the very best for that, for you
thanks for that.
as
Thanks.
well as for the band. And yeah, then hopefully see you when you play live,
Of
right?
course.
Ah,
We'll find you and we'll have your backstage pass
nice.
and your t-shirt and your cap.
Thank you so much, Jackie. It
Of
was a
course.
great pleasure speaking to you,
My
listening to your wonderful stories. As I said, all the very best, and thank you so much for taking
Thank
the
you.
time.